if you hit 30 and you don't have that mission, now is the time to start asking yourself, what do you want out of life? Now is the time. 30 years old. Whatever you're doing up to this point needs to be aligned to what you want to do out of this life. Every man hits a point when he's in his 30s where he start asking himself, this is it? Is this really going to be my life? And if that's you, if you're like 28, 29, or even 30, I want you to know that 30 is really a wake-up call. And what do I mean by this? A lot of people think that it's at 40, the middle-age crisis. And there's some truth in it, but that's another subject. But I want you to know that the real wake-up call is when you hit 30. And why 30? And every man goes through this. 30 is not really an age where you're old, but it's an age where you're not young anymore. You're not getting any younger. It's a point in your life where you have to realize that you're not gonna get any younger. You're still young, but you're not getting any younger after this point. Okay? So whatever you've been doing up to that point, you need to make sure that it aligns to your purpose, and it aligns to whatever you wanna make out of life. Now, there's an uncomfortable truth, an uncomfortable reality when it comes to this. A lot of men don't know what they want. They really don't know. And when they hit 30, life really slaps you in the face with that fact that, hey, I'm 30 years old and I got nothing going on for my life. I'm still broke. I'm in a job that I hate and I don't even make that much money. I'm out of shape. The relationship that I'm in is like, I'm miserable in that relationship. I haven't lived. I got nothing going on for myself, and I don't even know what I want. What do I want from out of life? And let me tell you something. A lot of people are gonna tell you that, yeah, it's okay. Everybody lives at their own time. Just be patient. Nah, bro. Listen. When you're young, when you're 18, 19 years old, even 20, I get it. It's you got a lot of time to fuck up. It's a trial and error time where you get to try things, learn from that experience, and then move on to the next experience and see what you like or what you don't like. A lot of men got the blessing that they knew their purpose from a young age, but most men don't know what they want at 18 and 19 years old. Probably you were chasing the wrong things. You were chasing girls, you were chasing vices, you were chasing experiences, and there's nothing wrong about it, but you learn as you grow older that some things are meant to be lived once and that's it. Okay? But when you hit a certain point, when you're 30, but there's a couple of things that you need to take in consideration. The autopilot trap. Because after 30, and you don't take action as far as to make a change in your life for the greater purpose of your life, for the greater good, you fall into the autopilot trap. Your routine life, your comfort, and whatever you do that you tend to repeat. If you live with that purpose, you're just going to be an autopilot. That's why they say that a lot of men die by 30, but they get buried at 75. Because when you hit 30 years old, life gets quieter. And that scares man. Let me put my example. I'm going to put my example so I can explain it better to you, okay? When I hit 30 years old, I'm not going to say any names just to not disrespect anybody that don't need disrespect. But when I was 30 years old, I remember that they even brought the cake to me. And when they brought the cake to me, everybody was like cheering me up, clapping, and singing happy birthday and everything. And I remember sitting there, and there's a video of me doing this. Somebody recorded me, and you can see in my face as I was sitting there. I remember vividly saying, all the voices around me all of a sudden started to get quieter, right? And like the movies, I can see everybody like moving and cheering me, but I couldn't hear anything. All I could hear was, is this what's gonna be for the rest of my life? And I was looking at the cake. The cake was right here in front of me, and I was looking at the cake like this, sitting there and thinking, is this gonna be the rest of my life? Like, this is it? this relationship, this job, what I'm making, like what do I want out of life, what happened with my dreams when I was 18, 19 years old, when am I gonna pick up the dreams that I wanted, when am I gonna start that project that I had in my head, when am I gonna start building this, when am I gonna do that, when am I was start as I was starting thinking all of this. I remember saying, I need to get out of here. That's what my mind told me on my 30-year-old birthday. Like I needed to make a huge change in my life, and that happened to me when I turned 30 years old. And it was hard. It was hard because men don't like. I think it's human nature to uh, look for comfort zones, obviously, to feel secure, to feel less anxiety, right? When it comes to uncomfortable situations, but it's hard to say I need to make a change in my life. Not only I need to make a change in my life, it's hard to say I need to change my life, my whole life. So in my older videos, you see that all of the changes that I had to make. Like I took a travel job that changed my life, whatever. But that was the main breaking point. That I said I don't want another 30 years of my life of this, because I wasn't happy when I turned 30 years old. I wasn't happy with my life. I really wasn't. I was just existing. I was just existing, honestly. I was not even, I didn't have a fire in me, you know? I didn't have drive. I was just waking up on autopilot just because I had to go to work. I was going to work. I would come back and I would just like do whatever I was supposed to do, pay bills, go to this event, smile over here, whatever, hanging out with some friends, and that's it. You know? I didn't want that for another 30 years of my life. I wanted to feel alive. I wanted to feel like a powerful human being. I wanted to challenge myself. I wanted to build something. I wanted to feel proud of myself. That's what I wanted to do. That's a really uncomfortable fact, to be completely honest with you. That's a really uncomfortable feeling, to admit that you're not the best version of yourself up to that point. And a lot of you ignore that fact and just think that that's just part of life, that's just part of getting old. And time is going to pass by. You're going to hit 40, you're going to hit 50, and it's only going to get worse. It's only going to get worse. It's not going to get any better. I promise you that. But at 30 years old, you still got time. You still got that energy. Your body's still good. If you want to get back in shape, for instance, right now is the right time. Start by getting in shape. Like you still got that energy. I promise you. Your body's still good. You still got good testosterone. You still got good muscle mass. Go out there and challenge yourself physically. If you have a relationship, maybe that you're not, you don't feel whole. You don't feel happy. Now is the time. Now is the time to really take it seriously. Maybe make a change, maybe spend time alone, maybe do whatever you need to do, because time is not gonna forgive you. Honestly, it doesn't forgive anybody. And whatever projects you have in your mind, if you wanna start that new business, start that new project, start whatever you wanted to start, right now is the time to get back to your old habits. Whatever habits that you neglected, whatever habits that you let go because life happened. Get back to it. Whatever sport you used to do, if you used to read, if you used to go for hikes or whatever, get back to it. If the job that you're doing doesn't align with your purpose, then just fucking quit, bro. Quit and start over in another. Make sure that you're working in the right industry, because it has to align to your mission. Let's say if you wanna, if you wanna have your own shop as a mechanic, make sure that you're working in the right industry. Make sure that you're working in a place that you're actually learning the tricks of the trade. Don't tell me that you wanna have your own shop as a mechanic and then all of a sudden you're working in a warehouse. It doesn't align with it. You know what I'm saying? Same thing when you're a welder, same thing when you're an electrician. You still have time to start over in an industry and start earning your stripes. Now, when you're 40 and when you're 50, 30 years old is still a good age to start. You have a little bit more thick skin. You have a thicker skin by then, so you still got that time. It's a good time to start all over. But you're not lost. You're not lost. You're just being called to a higher purpose. And don't ignore that voice from your inner conscience. Don't ignore it, because you're just gonna become a lost soul, and that's a really dangerous way to live. There's a really cool movie actually. My kids love that movie. It's called Soul, and in that movie, it describes a place that is called the zone, and the zone is a place where everybody goes. Everybody goes to mentally when they're doing something that they love, when they're playing a sport, when they're drawing something, when they're playing music or whatever, and you zone out. Well, that's the zone. He explains to you that the zone is an actual place where your mind goes to when you're doing something that you enjoy, and you're just there, right? But in that place, there's also what they call lost souls. It's just like little dark souls that are just there existing, obsessing about something. And that happens to people that get obsessed with something, and they get so obsessed with it that they forgot about living. You know? Let's say if you're a guy who's a workaholic, and you only coping with life with work, and you're just working just to provide and to make money, and you forget about living, you forget about quality time, you forget about relationships, you become a lost soul. You're one of those guys. You're just there like working, and the time just passed by. Time just passing by. You go to that zone and being that lost soul. That's a really dangerous way to live it. And if you ask me, one of the best ways to not become a lost soul is to have that inner fire, to have that inner purpose. As long as you have something to wake up in the morning, whether that's fitness, that business that you want to build, or whatever that you aiming for, you're not gonna become a lost soul, because everything that you do, you're gonna automatically make it align to that mission. And if you make it align with that mission, you're not gonna become lost. But going back to the point, if you hit 30 and you don't have that mission, now is the time to start asking yourself, what do you want out of life? What do you want out of life? Now is the time. 30 years old. Whatever you're doing up to this point needs to be aligned to what you want to do out of this life. Because after 30, 31, 32, 33, you're definitely getting older. But your mission in your 30s should be building something on the foundation of your mission. Like the 20s were a trial and error, and you were just living in and learning from past experiences. But out of those lessons, you're supposed to build an idea on what you want, whether that's relationships, whether that's business, whether that's fitness, whether that's whatever. You're supposed to have an idea on what you want. You probably don't have everything put together yet, but by 30 you need to have that foundation, that baseline of what you want, and based on that, saying, okay, I want this. Maybe I need to start doing this, and maybe I need to stop doing this. Maybe I need to stop hanging out with this type of people, and maybe I need to stop prioritizing these habits. You're the only one who knows what I'm talking about when it comes to what you want. So don't neglect that. Don't neglect that, because it's not going to get any easier. I cannot stress this enough. Because if you let time pass by and you hit 40, 45, there's going to be a point in your life when it's going to be too late. Don't let yourself, don't let anybody tell you anything different. Don't let yourself get fooled by these guys. There's actually a time limit. Because after 50, maybe 45, you got nothing going on for yourself. You really didn't build anything. You really didn't have that sense of purpose. By 50, it's gonna get hard. It's not impossible. It's really not. A lot of people is gonna give me that example of, oh, what about the general, what's his name? The guy from KFC. He started his business when he was 55. Yeah, but most of you are not that guy. Okay, so most likely if you're 50 and you got nothing going on for yourself, just enjoy the rest of your life, bro. Keep doing what you're doing at the end of the day, you know, because you neglected yourself for so long. It's not gonna get any better. Take this opportunity to listen to your inner conscience and act on it.